So it's worth doing, even to no one, and it's not going to melt our brains or give us cancer.
Computers, devices, wind instruments, old stuff.
There's nothing I like more than just painting over a problem. What's up, everybody? It's Saturday. It's Eclipse Eve. This is our sort of newish galley setup, which we haven't given anybody a tour of, but it's not used to look this way. Our beautiful butcher block. We might be the only 45-foot sailboat I've ever seen with a butcher block.
Definitely the only one from the 70s.
Definitely the only one from the 70s with a butcher block. We're f***ing styling. But we have to remember, it also goes into a YouTube video.
It also gets added somewhere.
So it's
later.
worth doing, even to no one. So the projects for the day. Firstly, and the one you'll probably be watching mostly, is the continuation of the AIS install. Last weekend, hooked it all up in a sort of like impermanent way. So now he'll work on actually wiring it together properly. So that'll be his project. That's probably what chat will watch most of the time. And then I'll just be kind of doing some beautification projects, continuing in the galley.
I think I'm gonna leave that GPS antenna below deck.
But then why does everybody put them outside?
Because everyone's idiots.
So you're gonna leave it inside, and it's not gonna melt our brains or give us cancer.
No, it's so low power anyway.
You're just being lazy.
Yeah. We turned it on, it was fine. I was like, I don't know why we need to run a cable all the way outside for this.
I guess that's fine. Jack may repeat all of this later, but just in case, what these two things that you're currently looking at is our AIS transponder, which we just got. And then this is our VHF. You use this guy, you know, to be like, hey, get out of my way, whatever. Or they'll call you and be like, hey, get out of my way. This is like an active thing. This is like passive. So this is just like constantly sort of communicating your position out and receiving positions from other people. This connects to this antenna, which is already wired all the way at the top of the mast. And then this other antenna is for satellites, which per Jack, you don't actually need to put up high or even outside of the boat.
Okay, now we're mic'd up. Now, like I was saying, we gotta go into here without turning everything off. This is the nest of electrical equipments and stuff. The VHF is receiving data from something at this point. I'm not quite sure what. I'm guessing it's this guy here, which is a green, brown, and gray line. So this looks to be where somebody took a NEMA connector and spliced in power. So what I'm gonna do is rip that out, disconnect it, so now it's not receiving power or anything from anything. Yeah, so this is computers, devices, wind instruments, old stuff. We're gonna remove this old wind instrument that's here, but I don't really know where he's going, and I'd like to disconnect him if I'm not using him, which I'm not. So this is pretty much the back of the fuse panel. There's some grounding wires here that go to ground. A lot of these devices aren't used anymore and don't work, like this one and this one, since I got new devices. So what I really need to do is actually completely pull these out. So maybe I'll do that now while I'm in here trying to clean this up. That's progress, people. I'm gonna shut this back up for a second and disconnect some of the things that are no longer needed. So that's fine, we're just gonna leave that open. There's like a nice big hole in here now. So what is currently hooked up is a brown, a green, a blue, and a gray. Time to write this out. All right, so we got a VHF antenna, which is currently doing receive AIS. Receive AIS is brown, NEMA in plus is gray, output plus is blue. The common is ground, which is green. I need to power the other device. That's kind of what we have right now. Going to this radio. On the new radio, we have a bunch of connections. Red, positive, black is negative, pink and violet. So we got pink, which is the TX plus, And the violet, which is transmit negative. So I gotta literally put little connectors on this thing. Like I have to connect them to a fuse panel because you need to hook this up to like a 3-amp fuse. But the cables are so tiny, just so tiny. So I have to like crimp on eyes for these and then put them into here, put it on here and there. So I want to see if this cable I have, like I already have, works inside of these guys. So that works. So what we're going to do is use this to bridge the gap between these tiny little cables that are here. Like this guy here. Stick him into this thing like that. So then that kind of bridges the gap between these different connectors without requiring a bunch of work. So now I can actually put a fuse on this bigger one, which I think I'll just do about here and here. Speaking of hungry, I gotta go eat real quick, so I'm gonna leave you guys with Mariana, or at least a view of Mariana here.
So what I've been doing is, this is like our door to the engine room. This is like soundproofing. It doesn't work, it doesn't do anything, and you can see it's very old, and it's like, I think it was foam at one point, but it's like dry rot essentially, like it comes off like, so I don't actually think it's doing much in terms of soundproofing, and it looks really gross. So I'm gonna take it off. All right, so now, pile of foam, door that no longer has foam on it. You know what's funny about boat projects is like, this isn't pressing. This didn't need to be done, but here we are. Okay, so now, really just enough to say I did clean it, since I'm gonna paint over it. And there's nothing I like more than just painting over a problem. Good enough. So now, we will paint. Our paint today is what 80% of the inside of this boat is. Rust-Oleum white. We'll paint like here, and there again, put another coat, not load, ew.
So, do you have anything you want to say to our adoring fans after leaving early?
Had a little mentee bee about the Twitch stream not working twice.
Did you have a Twitter MTB?
And a little mentee bee.
A little mentee bee? A
mentee
mentee breakdown?
Yeah. Yeah, just put some paint on. Jack came back.
The fuse works.
Oh, did you do it already?
Yeah, I just put a new fuse in. But alright, I think we just leave the boat as a mess. I'm okay with that. We pack and we get on the road.
Yeah.
It's gonna take us.
Alright, well, thanks for joining our stream. You're my best friend.
She said bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye, thank you. Bye, everybody.